Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. This is It's Your Healthy Lifestyle show, hosted by the founder of this platform, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and myself, Roland Friedl. How important is your health and fitness to you? We show you how you can easily eat healthier every day, how you can improve your fitness and recover much quicker after your exercises and workouts. Families will learn how to optimize their children's health and nutrition. And finally, you will also hear how you live a long, healthy and fit life into your old age. Join us here on It's Your Healthy Lifestyle.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is USA Global TV and Radio, and I am Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Our show today is It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, and we're going to be talking about keeping that chill away, meaning no winter colds. Depending on where you are in the world, we are shifting seasons. We are actually in the fall here on the East Coast of the US, and people are back to school, back to work, back from vacations, and everywhere I go when it comes to fitness, coaches are saying, okay, make sure you wipe down the machines, wipe down your equipment, because we don't want to be getting sick. So let's get into it with the star of our show. He is a dear friend, a mentor, and colleague. His name is Mr. Roland Friedl. He also hosts the first German-speaking show, which we'll be following immediately after this one. He's an entrepreneur. He's a montrepreneur. He's someone who really advocates for men being able to share their emotions, being able to talk collectively about things, and not being afraid to say, you know what, I need some help, or thanks for listening. He is also an author, and he's got 2 books. We'll discuss a little bit about that as well. Let's welcome Mr. Roland Friedl from somewhere in Europe. Welcome, my friend.
Hello, Jacalyn. Great to see you again. And by the way, you look fantastic.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. You look very well yourself, and we're matching. We've been matching lately in one of our outfits. So it's funny. So, but I just love the fact that you have taken the initiative to do a show in German. We'll just talk about that briefly, because it really shows how our platform is growing due to the insights and leadership of you. Tell us more.
Well, thank you so much. But it was quite a fantastic, I would say, journey the last 4 years together with USA Global TV and Radio. And for those people who maybe see us the first time, I'm Roland from Austria, and I had I got the chance to be on one of the shows. I actually, it was before the official launch. A friend of mine, John Christian, invited me on a show, and then you contacted me, Dr. Jacalyn, and asked me if I want to do my own shows. And from that on, I did, 4 or 5 different shows, around 400 different shows in English. And yeah, and it was amazing to see how this platform was expanding and growing. We had more and more viewers. You get the silver award on YouTube, and yeah, and it was very clear that there's a huge well, as a businessman, I would say there's a huge market. As a human being, I would say there's a lot of people outside who are looking for inspiration, hope, and education. And they want to learn something new. They want to be inspired by people who maybe go through the same things. They want to learn maybe something new. They want to, get a new insight about different topics. And I guess in times like this, people feel very anxious, especially here in Europe. 5 years ago we had the pandemic. We have the Ukrainian war. We have the conflict in Israel. We have economic problems. We have energy crisis, stuff like that. So people feel very anxious. And the idea was starting with we call it in German, the Mutmacher movement. In English, it means the encourager movement, to encourage people. And that's why we do the Mutmacher show, the encourager show, together with a dear friend of mine, Miki from Belgium. It's all about inspiring people and give them clarity and show them a way out of their misery. And we bring a lot of interesting people, actors, TV promoters, writers, people from different backgrounds, but also people like you and me from the street who went through hard times, and they will tell their story, how they got out of these hard times, how they left the anxieties behind, and go their way, and what their learning is from. So I'm very happy that we started actually last week, and we both, Mick and myself, we have been totally flashed how many people attended the show, and we get. Here's the promo picture, and we get a lot of feedback from people all over the places, and a lot of people are interested to join in the show to give an interview and tell their story. So, yeah, I'm very, very happy, and I think thanks to you, Dr. Jacalyn. I mean, myself, Mick, and all the other amazing colleagues I already met. We are only here because of you, because you had a vision, a dream, and hard work, and. I know this. It's a lot of work, and I really love to be your friend and work together with you. And I absolutely enjoyed it when you came to Vienna, to my home town, to see this beautiful city. And yeah, I think the best is yet to come.
Thank you, Roland. Yes, I had a great time with you as well, and you're a terrific tour guide and showed me all around. So it is amazing. I never thought in my life this would be the journey, and it's been such an incredible experience. I don't even know how to explain it, but let's get into our topic, which is about chill without the ill. And I know growing up, I would hear expressions like, you better not have wet hair when you go outside because you're going to catch a cold, or you better wash your hands endless numbers of times. And it's funny because I always believed in all of that. And now one thing that I'm finding is when I go to the gym and I do my exercise classes, we usually have a mat, and we get those sanitizing wipes to wipe. And I know it's not, there's no way it's potentially clean because we're standing on the mat, then we're lying on the mat, we're doing, and I used to get upset about it. And now I'm just like, you know what? I don't care. I'm just going to do what I need to do and exercise. But there are people who have a lot of these myths, so to speak, and some of them are, I guess, are real, and if we believe it enough that it's real, I guess it's going to happen. But what are your thoughts about some of the adages that we grew up with in terms of what's going to happen if we do this or that?
Well, thank you. Yeah, let's get to the topic before it got too emotional for Usaglobaltv Radio. And sorry, and hello to our audience and our viewers. Hello, I forget that. So hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever joining us. Great to have you back. And when you're the first time, thanks a lot. Yeah, about your question, Dr. Jacalyn. I mean, I'm also socialized by my parents, and then I went to kindergarten and school, and I heard a lot of when I found out myths about health, what we never questioned. Somebody tells you something and said, yeah, we never question things. And to be honest, I started to question very early. I guess I was not an easy child to handle because I was always questioning stuff. The funny thing is when we talk about illness, when I got a cold as a kid or didn't feel good, I refused to talk, I refused to eat, I refused to take any pharmaceutical stuff. My mom later told me, as far as my memory shows, you went to bed straight, only had water and some certain fruits, and had no idea about the beneficial ingredients about the fruit. I learned it later, but I only asked for certain fruits, and I healed myself. And I strongly believe that we can heal ourselves. Absolutely. By the way, I'm just at the moment, I'm reading a fantastic book by Lynn McTaggart about quantum physics and how everything is connected in the world. So I strongly believe of self-healing. And another short story about this is I'm here actually with my auntie before I'm heading south to spend the winter in a warmer area. I'm taking care about my almost 86-year-old auntie, so she's living alone in a house, and yeah, I make the firewood and everything to prepare her for the winter. Anyway, and she said one day, I guess it was last week, she said, "Roland, it's really amazing. You always do the opposite that officials say on TV or a doctor, but you always fit and healthy." How does this go? You make it totally different. Somebody recommends this on TV, you go the opposite. When somebody says, like you said, don't go out with wet hair, you go out with wet hair and never sing. When somebody says this and this, you always do the opposite. And I said, yeah, man, I wanna go in politics right now, but yes, I learned that sometimes it's better to go a different way. And by the way, I'm not a medical advisor. I'm not a medical doctor. I just talk about my own experience. I know my body exactly. I'm 61 now, so I have a 61-year experience with my own body. I know how my body reacts when I eat different things. I know how my body reacts when I drink different things. I know how my body reacts when I do workout or when I sit on the sofa. I know how my body reacts in summer in the heart. I know how it reacts in the winter, and I know exactly what my body needs. But I also know that I call it manipulate my body. What I mean is when I get cold, because when I've been living on this beautiful island in Mallorca, and in winter I sometimes had business trips in cold areas. And the challenge is when you live in a warm place and then you travel where something is snowing, sometimes you forget to bring winter boots or winter jackets, whatever. So I was always freezing there. And I didn't get a cold because I always imagined that it's warm around me. So I always saw red colors. I learned this from a professor years ago. And I said, if you're in an area where it's very hot, imagine blue colors. And if it's very cold, imagine warm colors around you and you feel different. And I had this experience when I was a student. We had a huge a party, and it went very chilly when the sun went down. And actually it was summer, but it was a very, very chilly night, very, very cold night when the sun went down. And what the professor did is he was projecting warm colors on a wall. And everybody felt good. I said, oh, yeah, you can trick your mind and you can manipulate your mind and stay healthy. And yeah, I strongly believe that we can heal ourselves and that we also can take care about ourselves when we know how to do it.
Absolutely. I love the fact that you brought in color therapy, I guess maybe it would be called. I think that's really interesting. And I do also believe when you set your mind to really believing something that you're able to have your body follow. And I'll just give an example. So in the winter of this year, I think you know this, that's I had no heat, and then my apartment was flooded from upstairs and I had to move into a hotel, and my ulcerative colitis came back. And usually when I have it, it lasts for 3 to 6 months. And I just said to myself, I'm not going on these pharmaceuticals. Like, I'm on pharmaceuticals for 30 years for it, but they wanted me to go to another level. And I just said, I'm not doing it. And I just said, I will literally will myself to get better. And I did. Knock on wood. I don't want to jeopardize, but I'm still well. And I just refuse to go back to where I was. And so I think when we tell ourselves, like, if I'm going to work out at the gym and I say to myself, oh, these mats are dirty, I'm going to get sick, I will get sick. So I say to myself, you know what? I'm strong enough. I'm not even focusing on the mats. I will take a shower, wash my hands afterwards. And then I don't look at it as, oh, I could be getting sick from doing this. Whereas many people, before they even walk out the door, they're saying negative things to themselves that could be harming themselves.
Absolutely. Honestly, I strongly believe in our mind. I strongly believe in our mindset. But it doesn't mean not only on the cognitive perspective, you also have to feel it in your heart. You really have to believe it from the bottom of your heart. you can influence everything, the whole world. As I mentioned, I just reading another fantastic book, and I will send it later to you. It's absolutely incredible what scientists found out, how we communicate ourselves, what is communicate with everyone in the world, with every creature, and we can really manipulate it in a positive way. And I strongly believe this, and we also can heal ourselves. And I did heal myself many times for myself. I know friends of mine who had tumor cancer who healed themselves. But again, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just talking about my own experience and the experience of my friends. And I have a very good friend. He's a retired dentist, and he always, I don't know, he always goes to see colleagues and doctors, and every week he tells me something new. And he always says, "Yeah, the diagnosis this, the diagnosis this." And I always said, "My dear friend Rolf, if you believe it, you have it. If you believe it, you have it. If you don't believe it, you don't have it." I strongly believe in this. But maybe this is a little bit too weird for some people. But I think there are some things that we can do to avoid, especially when in fall and in winter time, when we are in places where we meet a lot of people in a shopping mall, in a large office, or on an airport or something like that. People are sick, and maybe to avoid that we get sick by ourselves. And what I always do is, first of all, as I said, it's a positive mindset. Secondly, what I always do, I drink a lot of water, especially when I'm around a lot of people. So I'm always wet. I'm never dry, because when your throat is dry, because we inhale air, and with the things that we inhale, the air we need to breathe, to burn in our cells, to generate energies in the mitochondria. We also inhale things that are not so positive in the air, especially when we're around with many sick people. So I always stay wet, not dry. That's what I always do. Drinking a lot of water. Eating properly. So I try to eat very healthy most of the time, but especially in fall, and where we know that the figures normally got up with colds and flus, I even focus more on even more healthy food, meaning less sugar, even less processed food. So very healthy, pure food, that what I eat. I avoid alcohol, absolutely. And stuff like that. That's what I do. And I go, the lifestyle I live, I'm always out in nature. But what I really tip I can give is get out of nature, especially when maybe you heard about the sick building syndrome, because a lot of people are working in offices. They cannot open a window. There's only air conditioning, and then all this stuff goes around. We call it the sick building syndrome. So whenever it's possible, go out, and when you're in the city, walk in the park and go out in nature, try to get fresh air. And very important, I believe, for health is getting enough sunlight, producing a lot of vitamin D, and getting sunlight whenever it's possible. So being out in nature as much as possible is very beneficial. Besides a good, clean food, drinking a lot of water, avoiding sugar, of course, as less alcohol as possible, not smoking. I guess we don't have to discuss this, but it's being out in nature as much as possible and getting sunlight as much as possible. I think this is very helpful.
I agree. They're all terrific points. And I want to share, we had a show earlier today on This is Floxed, and we had a house expert, a home health house expert, who actually has visited more than 30,000 residences and examined them for mold, mildew, radon, all kinds of things. So there could be something going on in your own home that's causing you to feel sick or to have a cold. And I thought that was really interesting. And she also mentions, my understanding of it is that she's never visited a home that didn't have some kind of mold. Because if you think about it, anywhere there's water that's been sitting, that can turn into mold. And we see it in the shower, we see it in the sink. And even though we might be very clean, it just pops up, and we have to take care of it. So I know my own father, he had inhaled mold. He and my uncle owned car dealerships, and there was a service department. And I guess he was back in the service department, and there was black mold in there, and it went into his lungs. And at first it seemed like it was a cold, but then it ended up that the mold was growing literally in his lungs. And so he couldn't breathe. So you have to be careful of your own environment. We're so afraid of we're leaving and going somewhere and interacting with other people, especially getting on a plane a train or a tube. But also in our own home, we could be getting sick from how the house is and whether or not the house is healthy.
Absolutely. So it's not only in offices, as I said, in the sick building syndrome, it's also at home. And when we talk about mold, it's really crucial. Even in my motorhome, what I do is I get up in the morning, the first time I open all the windows, get fresh air in, because in the night we sweat, we breathe, so we have a high humidity. So it's really, really important that we really open very often the window, even in winter when it's cold, getting fresh air in, drier air in. Absolutely. Mold is absolutely critical. As I said, when you once have it in your respirational system, oh my gosh, that's not really good. Yeah, absolutely. And it's about cleaning, it's cleaning the house. It's not about cleaning too much. I know when I was a kid, we've been playing outside in the dirt, and I don't know whatever we had in our mouth, but this was boosting our immune system. Too much cleaning is not good, especially for kids. We know this. And what I also want to talk a little bit about is what many people recommend, and it's something that is never questioned, is who the hell said when you get sick, a flu, drink a hot tea? We all do this, but there's no evidence for that. So what I learned is I drink cold ones, because I drink cold, not warm ones. And I will tell you two stories. Secondly, because first of all, when it's like a warm shower. When you have a warm shower, you drink something warm. What it is, your skin, for example, and outside, but also inside, the warmness opens up everything, and then more bacteria can get in. So when you're cold, your cells of your skin out and inside goes together. So I drink cold ones when it's wintertime, not warm ones. And I remember when I was the first time, because I know that you a few days ago have been to this beautiful country of Greece. I remember when I was in school, I was the first time in Greece. I don't know if it's still there. I've been to Greece the last time, like 10 years ago or something like that. They had this Café Negros, the black coffee shops where only men are allowed. Many years ago, when it changed in our society, but you only see men in this Café Negros. And what they had in the morning, and I also saw it in Turkey, these old men having in the morning, when it's really chilly outside, ice cream. They don't eat it when it's hot. They eat ice cream when it's cold in the morning, and they have a hot tea when it's hot outside. So totally different than we do it in the Northern Hemisphere. And I learned from that, and that this is same to me. I don't drink cold drinks when it's too hot outside, and I don't drink warm drinks, especially tea, in winter, because everything opens up, and then more bacteria came in. That's what I learned from, and this keeps me safe. But to be honest, Dr. Jacalyn, I have one enemy. And, I take a lot of supplements. I have it here in front of me. I take a lot of supplements many, many times, even essential oils that keep me fit. But there's one enemy, and I tried everything. I don't know how your experience is, but I tried everything. Is always when I have to fly to clients, when I go on an airplane, there's air conditioning on the airplane, there's air conditioning hotel, I always get a little cold afterwards. Now, no matter how healthy I eat, no matter how much water I drink, no matter how many essential oils I take or supplements, I cannot stand air conditioning at all. And a friend of mine, a very famous doctor here in my home country, told me nobody can stand air conditioning. It's really difficult. And by the way, when we talk about air conditioning, I know that in the US, a lot of people have air conditioners in their homes, or especially it's normal in a car. I have one in my motorhome here, but I don't use it. When you have air conditioning, I guess it's very critical to really clean it up once a year. Change the filters and really clean it. It's very, very important. Yeah, but I can't stand air conditioning at all.
Yeah, we're kind of very into air conditioning here in the US. I know when I was traveling over to London and there's no air conditioning, it's very unusual, because and this is how I feel. I'd rather be warm than be cold. I don't like the cold weather. I'm not a cold weather person, although where I live, it definitely will get cold. I prefer, hot yoga. I did hot yoga for 20 some years. And believe me, that was a breeding ground for bacteria. The carpet, you would just walk into the studio. You're not even in there yet. You're like, whoa, oh, that's something else. And it's funny because that building, just a quick digression, the place where I was going to hot yoga, they've never been able to rent it since. And that was probably 15 years ago. It smells so horrific. But I think that when we are using supplements correctly, and I do want to address essential oils. The woman who was just a guest on This Is Flocks, she was talking about essential oils as well, especially I think citrus. And the citrus, when you are putting it into a diffuser, or I recognize the bottle, when you're putting it into a diffuser, that after 15 minutes, there can be my understanding of what she said, there can be some type of negative impact on your respiratory system. So I think I'll do some further research about that, because I think it's also the same thing with candles. I stopped using candles completely because we had Pet Psychic Ominous. She used to talk about how bad candles were, but I do have a few candles in here now. I hardly ever light them, but I do wonder about that when you're breathing a diffused air that has something in it. She specifically said about citrus. So I'll do some additional research and report back.
Yeah, about candle, same to me. I love candles, but I only use them made of beeswax.
Beeswax.
Yeah, beeswax. Because the other ones are very artificial. There's a lot of stuff in, I don't like it. And actually, I start coughing immediately when there's a candle burning. That is not a natural one. So I have them of beeswax. And what I do with the citrus, what I do is I rub my on the bottom of my feet. I rub them in the morning, and then it brings positive energy, and I really sniff on it a little bit. That's what I'm doing. But I don't use these machines where you spread this warm water, this steam air. Yeah, absolutely not. It's the worst thing you can do. I learned it from doctors who are specialists in, we call it pulmologs, or about your lungs and your respiration systems. Will never use this, because your humidity gets up and the risk of mold goes up. So don't do this. That's the worst thing you can do. Dry air is good. We're not used to it, but when you use this different machines, it's not healthy. Absolutely not healthy. It's not good for your respiration system. So I don't use it at all. And it's a high risk when you spread too much of this in the air, that the chance of the mold is absolutely increasing. So I don't use them, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't use it either. I used to have one, but I gave it away. I think anything that is permeating in the air over and over again, even when you're talking about air conditioning, it's not healthy.
No, open the windows, I don't know, 4 or 5 times a day, getting fresh air in. And that's the best way.
Yeah,
because
I live in an apartment.
Closed systems, you only have a closed system, not outside.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
I had a friend of mine. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I said I don't think I can open the windows where I am. So, but I get out every day, so it's good.
Yeah. No, it's really good. I remember when I moved to Spain many years ago, and I had a friend of mine who also bought a nice penthouse, how to say, first line, and he kicked out all the windows out. He didn't like the Spanish ones, very German ones, better ones. They are protective, and there's no air going through and everything. And then he left the penthouse for 4 months or something on a business trip and on a vacation. He came back after 4 months. The penthouse was totally closed. Everything was full of mold. Everything. Can you imagine? Everything. The curtains, everything was full. He could kick everything out, because especially when you live on the seaside or regular front line, you always have to open the windows and again, when you close it, it's not good. Not good.
Yeah, I know. We have a place at the beach, and you can just see from year to year what being on the water actually does to your home. And you have to be very careful, because I think people take it for granted that because you didn't actually touch it and put it into your nose, that you're not inhaling it. And that's a misnomer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so I guess to prepare, I guess one thing is, I don't watch normal TV, mainstream media. I don't listen to radio station, because what I always see is, and I give an example, as my aunt said, they said in TV and on radio, it's flu time again. Flu is coming again. And I said, why you listen to this? Because it's in your head. When you hear it every hour on the news, be careful, flu is coming again because it's October, it's going to call. Then you get it, because it goes down to your unconsciousness, and don't listen to the thing. So we all know that when it's wintertime, it's winter, and prepare for yourself, but don't be afraid that you get sick or something like that. It's just in the mindset. And by the way, I don't know how it's in the US, but the flu rate goes up in January and February. And it's always after Christmas and New Year's Eve, because most of the people in this time sit a lot at home, meet a lot of people, and eat much too much unhealthy things. And then the flu rate goes up, because what they do is they really challenge during Christmas time and New Year's time. They really challenge their immune system, because your body has to be prepared with a lot of food, mostly unhealthy food, alcohol, sugar, and we all know that sugar is producing or encouraging the production of inflammation. You really challenge your immune system, and then you're getting out in the cold, and you sweat, and you freeze a little bit, and bang, you get a flu. It goes first. So it's human made that we don't take care about ourselves, and it's just some easy things just to consider, and then you stay healthy and fit.
Yeah, for sure. I think we've shared a lot of really good tips today. And I think that taking care of our immune system is super important. And I'd love for you to just share about Juice Plus, and also the supplementation program that you're on, because you mentioned you've got obviously the essential oils and Juice Plus. What else can you share with us about this?
Well, I'm supplementing since over 30 years. So I started actually to do it on a daily basis, actually in 1994, so 31 years ago. And I started with a natural product, Juice Plus. I just have 2 boxes here, but it's 4 boxes. So this one is omegas. These are different omegas. Omega acids are very, very important for your immune system. It's very, very good for your eyes. It's especially for your brain. It reduces inflammation. So I love omegas. You can get omegas from fish oil. I take a vegan product. I'm not a vegan at all, but I don't like the taste of fish oil, because I remember when I was a small kid, I always have to take a spoon of fish oil. My mom always gave it to me, and I really hated it, just smelling it, the taste. So I take a vegan product. I'm not a vegan, but I take a vegan product, omegas. And then I take, these are berries, but as the box is going slower, I mixed it, so I don't have 3 more boxes to carry with me in motorhome. So I take a Juice Plus product that's called, it's a natural product. There's a product, normally it's a red box, but the capsules are inside. It's a red box, meaning 10 different fruits. Then I have another product, it's a green box. This is 10 different vegetables. And then the violet one, the purple one, is 10 different berries and grapes. And we all know that this is very beneficial. So I started in 1994 taking it on. Since then, I take it every day, and it keeps me healthy and fit. It helps me to detox my liver on a daily basis, and it keeps me fit and healthy. So I take it every day. I found a new product I'm taking now. It's just these drops. It's an amazing product. It's made out of hope, but because I don't drink beer, and beer is not the best way because it's alcohol and a lot of other stuff in it. So I take a product out of hope, and it helps me to activate my vagus nerve, or you call it in English the vagus nerve, which is the longest nerves. It's part of the parasympathicus, and what it does, it connects the brain with every organ, with your heart, your lungs, your liver, and so on and so on. So it's activates them, and it's really, really helpful. What I do, and I have a lot of, actually not only this one, I have a lot of so-called essential oils from a company. They're really good quality, and I strongly believe they help me a lot. So I'll give you an example. When I don't feel good for a reason, I'm just a normal human being, so I'm not 24/7 happy. I also have my dark moments, but it helps me absolutely to go back and stay focused. Yeah, I use different oils, rubbing them on my the bottom of my leg, or sniffing on them, or I rub it on my head, and they help me absolutely in a very, very good quality. That's what I do besides a healthy food, avoiding alcohol, not smoking, no drugs, no pharmaceuticals, and being outside as much as possible, doing my workouts on a daily basis, and do my 10,000 minimum. Actually, this week I have an average of 17,000 steps a week. So the last 10 days. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And that's why I'm staying healthy. But as I said, supplements are an important part in my diet on a daily basis. Absolutely. Yeah. And I don't want to miss them, because I know from my own experience how good they are for me, and they prevent me from getting sick, and they help me to stay fit and healthy. That's why I take them.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that and second that. Something else that I do is I have a protein drink every day, and I notice a big difference. When I was just away in Greece, I didn't have the ability to have my shake, although I did bring the protein powder. I have all different powders and I mix them together because there's one for protein, then there's one for greens, and then there's one for something called collagen, and then I forget what the other one is. But I notice when I take that with the milk, and then I put some peanut butter in and frozen blueberries. I also
Mm.
put some greens in there, pistachio butter that I got when I was in Greece. It's not only do I have more energy, but my body is processing everything, if you know what I'm saying. And I feel I can just tell a major difference. And this isn't something I was always doing. I just started doing it this year. And I'm really excited about it. And it's also cost effective for a meal. So I have one of those NutriBullet things. And so I fill it up with the milk, and then I put the powders in, and then I put the peanut butter, and then the pistachio butter. And then I even have bananas sometimes. And then I won't even finish the whole container, and then I'll leave the rest for the next day. So it makes a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know, because I was, when you were talking about it, I was how do you say it? Mouth watering.
Yeah, your mouth is watering.
Yeah, I also use shake. And to be honest, when I was vegetarian, when I didn't eat meat, I was taking more protein shakes because I missed the protein. Since I went for carnivore, I don't do it that much. But sometimes, because I don't do breakfast, I do 6 to 8 intermittent fasting. But sometimes when I know it's going to be I'm going on a hiking tour, for example, and quite early in the morning or something like that, or I'm playing a round of golf or in the morning. So I need more energy, because normally I start my mornings with a bulletproof coffee. For those who don't know what is a bulletproof coffee, I brew my coffee, organic coffee, and then I take a large spoon of organic butter and a large spoon of real pure C8. It's called C8 coconut oil, and I mix it, and that's my morning normally. But as I said, when I go out for hiking tour or something like that in the early morning, I need more power, and then I take a shake in the morning. I really love it, having a shake in the morning, because it gives me energy, everything I need, especially the protein. And I have a chocolate and a vanilla, and the vanilla I love to put in blueberries and stuff like that. Absolutely. And I used it also as a post or pre-workout when I go to the gym. When I was living in Mallorca and I went to the gym, sometimes when you work the whole day and you want to go to the gym and then you're hungry, what to eat that doesn't disturb you during the training. And I love to have a shake, and it isn't, and I had the energy. And I also love to have a protein shake as a post-workout after the training, because when you train hard, for the muscle repair and to build up the muscle, yeah, absolutely, shakes are incredible. But as I said, it's also, I get shakes. Good shakes are also good alternatives, especially for kids in the morning. I don't know how it's in the US, but I guess it's even worse than here. Kids in the morning get a lot of cereals, sugar intake, and stuff like that, and then the blood sugar goes up, and then the insulin smashes the blood sugar down, and the kids are nervous in school, cannot focus. Yeah. And a good shake can really be a very good alternative for them instead of having the cereal stuff like that. Yeah, shakes, I love them, absolutely.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. One quick comment, because we're actually out of time. I just read an article that I thought was very fascinating about how in the US, it was a US based study, that there's more of a shift for people to be lifting weights. And even some of the mainstream gyms have decided to get rid of some of the cardio equipment and bring in more weight training equipment, because the article mentioned that if a person is very thin and they don't have a lot of muscle, the likelihood of them outliving someone who's very muscular is limited, according to this study that I read. So I know you have to have your protein so that you can build up the muscle, because without that, you're not going to get the definition that you like, and you're not going to get the bulk.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what, Dr. Jacalyn, we both know we're both in our 60s, especially when we become older, 40 plus, I guess it's starting in the 50s and the 60s. We need much more protein. We need much more protein. I know it from some of my friends who are very famous cardiologists and cancer specialists who told me a lot of people who suffer from cancer and die have a lack of muscle structure and a lack of protein. So protein is very, very important. And what you mentioned is less cardio, more workout, also as weightlifting. Absolutely, especially for older people. Lifting weight is so critical. Absolutely. And, I always hear older people, yeah, I go cycling, I do swimming, I go for a walk with the dog, or I go hiking. Yes, that's good. That's nice. That's really good. It's helpful. But in addition, you need lifting weights. Absolutely, 100%, especially for your core muscle. It's so critical that we build up muscle. We don't have to look like a bodybuilder, this is the wrong guy. We're not talking about this. But if you really want to stay healthy and fit in your old age, besides cardio, you really have to lift weights. Absolutely, 100%, 100%.
Well, thank you, my friend. Another great episode with some terrific shares. Your show is coming up right after this. How would you like people to reach out to you? And what if a person's interested in having their own TV show?
Okay. Yeah, if you want to connect with me, there is an email address. It's my office at my name, rolandfriedl.com. For those of you who are listening on Spotify, it's office at, and I spell it for you. It's ROLANDFRIEDL.com. Who wants to connect with me? Whoever is curious to know about me, but to be honest, I'm more curious about you. So it's all about caring and sharing and networking. And yeah, I always say you don't have to contact me because you have an issue or a challenge. Just contact me if let's get in touch and make this world a better place. And for those of you who are, this is a really, say from the bottom of my heart, when I started 4 years ago, giving an interview and then I did my own show afterwards, I had absolutely no experience in broadcasting, in TV show hosting or something like that. I was very, very nervous. I remember my dog was snoring like crazy. I had a lot of coffee with me. I was so nervous, but it was one of the best journeys in my life, to be honest, the last 4 years. So if you're thinking about, hey, it's really cool to be on a show as a guest or to run my own show as a co-host or as a moderator, as a host, hey, contact us. You're more than welcome. And it's not only in English. We offering, you can do a show in German, in French, or maybe your mother language is Greek. I don't know, is Greek or Spanish or Italian or Polish or whatever. There are hundreds of languages. Join us here on USA Global TV Radio. I can only tell you it's the best thing I did the last 4 years. I learned so much about myself, my personal growth, all the amazing colleagues here. And yeah, not more to say. Join us here and don't hesitate to contact us, and we can have to an initial call and find out what you would love to talk about it. We can also coach you how to behave and act in front of a camera. You're not alone. And if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Roland. I appreciate you, and I'll see you shortly for the next program.
Thank you. All the best, and see you next show. And ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining. And don't forget to subscribe, because if you missed one of the shows, you'll see it on YouTube. And hit the bell, also subscribe and share it with all your friends. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye for now. Thank you, everyone. That concludes our episode today on It's Your Healthy Lifestyle. Just a few very quick announcements. We have some new shows that are coming. The Agio method with Dr. Alkistis Agio. I can't wait for this one. I'm actually going to be her first guest. It is a live group coaching show that is on Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So you can look up the various time zones across the world. Do join us for that. If you'd like to be a guest, where do you go? You go to usaglobaltv.com/book your session. Our other new show is Iconic Women. Within every woman lives a goddess. And I will be hosting this show starting tomorrow with my first guest, Dawn Bates. And of course, we mentioned the show that's coming up right after this with Roland and Mike. It is our first all German show, Die Mutmacher Show. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with that one. And of course, Judgment, the Hidden Sin, my other new show, which is in tandem with my new book, Holy But Harmful, The Silent Sin of Judgment. And I leave you with this: never judge a book by its cover. Please do subscribe to our channels, USA Global TV and Radio, as well as Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck over on YouTube, two of the places where we stream. And for now, we're going to say au revoir, adios, and we'll see you again.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/usaglobaltv. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting. We're building bridges and changing lives, one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.